Hello, welcome to Singapore Geospatial Week Plus 2020, an event organized by GeoWorks, Singapore Land Authority's Geospatial Industry Center. So today we are excited to introduce Ryan and Dr. Aravind from NTU EcoLabs and to share more about EcoLabs' Continental Urban Mobility Accelerator Program. So if you have any questions during the webinar, please leave them in the Q&A box and we will answer them at the end of the webinar. So thank you, and without further ado, I'll pass the presentation over to Ryan. Ryan, please.
Hi everyone, if you can hear me, do let me know. I will share my screen right now.
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, that's great. So you can see my screen. Okay, yes. So hi, I'm Ryan from the EcoLabs Center of Innovation for Energy. So I lead the effort in smart cities and future mobility at EcoLabs. And I'm going to share with you a co-innovation program between EcoLabs and Continental Automotive Singapore. So at Continental, CoPace has a very strong presence in Israel and is the startup hub of Continental. So CoPace is made up of 3 building blocks: the incubation, cooperation, and investment. So the team we are working very closely with is the Continental Venture Hub. So the EcoLabs Continental Urban Mobility Accelerator Program is jointly established by EcoLabs and Continental Automotive Singapore. So we aim to build a pipeline of products and services that are co-created by startup, the small and middle enterprises, and our industrial partner, Continental. So the ECUMA program is not just about us and what we do, it's actually about the startup, you and your success in building it to the next level. So the ECUMA program is actually for any future mobility startup who are ready to set up a base in Singapore and to venture the world. So when you join the ECUMA program, we will take on a very active roles to support you in your innovation journey. So some of our support includes up to 125,000 worth of project funding and startup support, having access to our network of partners globally, fundraising assistance through investment pitching, grant application support to some of the Singapore government grants and international grant call, and guidance and mentorship from some of our technical and business experts and seasoned entrepreneurs. We also organize regular trainings and workshops to hone the skills in critical aspects to accelerate your innovation journey. So joining the ECUMA program is very simple. Firstly, you can submit your application in the ECUMA program website. I will share the link with you all later. Next, you can actively participate in our community. So it includes networking events. For now, because of COVID, it's mainly virtual. But as the situation gets better, we will continue to organize in-person networking events, capability building workshop, trainings and pitching sessions. So when opportunities arise, we will also facilitate collaborative discussion between you and interested partners. It could be corporate partners who are looking specific solutions, test beds, and so on, and or even investor partners who are interested to invest in your venture. So lastly and more importantly, once selected, be committed in the deployment of your project in one of our test bed sites to validate your solutions and technology performance and suitability for scaling up. So the ECUMA program is designed to offer very high flexibility, and this is also just nice in this COVID situation. So we accept application throughout the year and offer a wide array of capability building and networking opportunity both virtually and physically when the situation is better. So after your application is accepted, you'll be given an introduction to the EcoLabs and also the Continental program. We also invite you to attend our events, workshop, trainings, and community activities at its goals. So when you are shortlisted for the program, we will invite you to showcase and present your solution at the demo day to a tailored group of audience, including potential investors, clients, and partners who may be interested in your solutions. So the ECUMA program is championed by the four of us, Dr. Aravind and myself from EcoLabs, and David and Wilson from Continental. So we as the champion for the ECUMA program, we actually pride ourselves on the success of your innovation journey, and it's really to help you and support you to excel in whatever you choose to do. So applying for the ECUMA program, as mentioned, is very simple. Firstly, before the application, you need to be a registered company that focuses on urban mobility. You should also have your pitch deck ready as part of the application process. During the applications, you will be required to fill out application form and attach a pitch deck. So your applications will be reviewed and we will notify you should we require more information. So for example, if you may ask for the technology details and some of the startup details, financial details and so on, and also your business model. We may also request a meeting with you if we need more information from you. So, and that's all for you for the time being, because then EcoLabs and together with Continental Co-Pace team and their business unit team, we'll review your applications. And if you are selected, you'll be invited to an info day that help you make an informed decision on the offer. And upon acceptance of the offer, you will have the opportunity to pilot your solutions in one of our testbed sites. So what are we looking for? So we will actually assess your application based on some of these criteria. Definitely the startup team, the composition of the founding teams, and the experience of the team, the impact of your products and services, your company business model, whether is it a fine business model, whether is it relevant in today's market, and the technology feasibility of your solutions, whether is it technical sound, whether there are any issues in terms of technology development roadmap, and the relevancy and alignment to Continental business requirements. So that's something that we will work very closely with you and the Continental team to define that. So some of the specific focus areas that we are looking for includes autonomous, telematics, electrics, intelligent traffic, and aerial mobility. And so are you ready to embark on your innovation journey with us? So the application is open right now, and you can just go on to the website and check out the details. And thank you so much. So now I will pass the presentation to Dr. Aravind, who will share more about EcoLabs and also the drone labs, and happy to take any questions during the Q&A session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ryan, for this great presentation, and thank you also for the Geospatial Week team to give us this opportunity. Let me share my screen and give you an outline of what EcoLabs is and what we do on the drones segment, which is one of the core areas that EcoLabs is looking at. So to get started, EcoLabs is also known as the Center of Innovation for Energy. We are a national platform here in Singapore. We're supported by Enterprise Singapore, Nanyang Technological University, as well as the Sustainable Energy Association of Singapore. The way we are different from the existing university and the research institutes is illustrated in this chart here. We mainly focus on high TRL technologies that we call from prototype stage to full commercial stage. And our objective at EcoLabs is to help startups and SMEs to basically take their technologies out of lab or out of prototype stage and to the market. The way we do this is in multiple areas. There are 6 of them. The first is mobility, second, carbon reduction, grids, energy efficiency, renewables, and circular economy. So if your startup or SME or corporate is involved in any of these areas, what we would be presenting would be highly relevant to you. So the way we do this sort of support is in 4 areas. The first is capability building, where we help to translate technologies. Second is test bedding for deployments. We establish test beds not only in Singapore, but overseas as well. And the third is through innovation programs such as ECUMA. And the fourth is through funding with our investor partners as well as overseas market entry. So I'll briefly touch upon each one of these aspects and give examples so that you have a better idea of how we do it. So on the technology translation side, we support startups in product enhancement, field testing, commercial deployment, and basically any sort of development that is needed on the technology side to improve their chances of success. The way we do this is through our state-of-the-art labs or test sites, the number of corporate labs that we work with, a co-development space that will come up in the next 2 to 3 months at Jurong Innovation District, and some of the access to not only NTU, but other institutes of higher learning, as well as research institutes in Singapore. The second area of test bedding is done through our partners. We secure sites on behalf of the companies, either startups or SMEs or corporates, to enable this sort of test bedding. An example of this is mentioned here. I'll pick up one of them. In Singapore, we have Kairos Center here, where we do automotive related technology testing. Here, an example would be we could deploy new electric vehicle chargers in the facilities so that they can be utilized and demonstrated to a potential customer. We also do test bedding overseas. An example of this is an airport in southern India, where commercial ready to deploy technologies can be taken and adopted immediately by the airport there. The third area where we support is through co-innovation programs, and this consists of 3 parts: an accelerator, a corporate co-innovation program, and learning academies. So ECUMA with Continental comes under the corporate co-innovation program that we have. Apart from that, we also have other partners who provide problem statements, and we work with startups or SMEs to solve these problem statements so that the corporates as well as the startup, both of them benefit. So if you're a corporate listening to this, please do reach out if you're looking to get into some sort of engagement with the startups that are out there. The fourth area that we support in is in funding and market entry. On the funding side, we have 4 major sources of funding. One is EcoLabs' own Center of Innovation funding. The second is through our investor network. The third is through project funding with Enterprise Singapore and our partners such as Mistletoe. And finally, large-scale commercial projects like the testbed I mentioned in Bangalore in India, where larger partners come in to finance the projects. The final area we provide support is in market entry, and this is where EcoLabs stands out from the other centers of innovation in Singapore. We are also outward facing. We help the startups and SMEs to move outwards to all these partners that we have in the US, Canada, EU, China, Korea, Japan, and also India. And we also help startups from overseas, from these locations, to come in and soft land in Singapore and partner or co-develop solutions here. Now to the core part of what I would like to outline in terms of an immediate call for proposals is the Sunbird Drone Labs. The Sunbird Drone Labs is basically an indoor test bed that EcoLabs is developing under its mobility focus area for unmanned aircraft systems, development trials, as well as customer demonstrations. So the reason we are developing this test bed and lab is mainly because of this problem that we have seen. Around a majority of Singapore is covered by certain regulations for flying, which prevents drone startups from quickly deploying and testing their solutions. The limited outdoor space also means that there is lesser validation, hence the technology, when it hits the market, might have a lot of difficulties in being adopted. So this is the main core challenge that we plan to solve. And our objectives in this regard with the drone labs is threefold. The first is to help the startups prototype and create new technologies, services, products, and systems. The second is to test and validate these, not only in terms of technology, but also business models. And the third is to commercialize these through market entry and participation in projects with different stakeholders. The focus areas for this drone labs is divided into 3 layers. The first layer is on capability building. So this is mainly on development of the manpower or the startups in terms of their early stage nature. The second is to help these startups or SMEs develop new products, new technologies, and test and verify them. And the third layer is in policy development, where we work or plan to work with the various government agencies to help develop new policies for not only flights, but also land transport, as well as benchmark these solutions so that the right sort of policies can be drafted. In terms of technology development, we are mainly looking at 4 areas under the UAS. We understand there are 4 areas. There's air traffic management, the drone platform itself, cloud solutions, as well as manpower training. Now, the drone labs is primarily focused on 2 areas. One is the drone platform improvement or development, and as well as data analytics. We work with our partner Air Transport Training College in Seletar Airport to provide the training on the pilot side, as well as drone dropouts and services or flight training. In terms of the size of the unmanned aerial systems that we are looking at, we understand there are 5 major systems, but our primary focus is on a less than 25 kg sort of payload device. And this is where our current setup is geared towards supporting the companies. The location of this particular drone lab is with our partner at Seletar Airport. As I said, they are Air Transport Training College. There are 2 aspects to this testbed site or drone lab. The first is a hangar, which is shown in the figure on the top right. And the second part is a classroom style, office style environment. So the hangar consists of an open hangar where certain tests can be done, as well as a workshop. The sort of equipment that we plan to place here, I will just state in a couple of slides later. In terms of the second area where I mentioned Air Transport Training College has resources is on the classroom or office space or auditorium site. This space enables the startup or SME to do on-site or stay close to the site of development, and therefore reduces travel time to and from this sort of location. So the location, as I mentioned, is near Seletar Airport. So in terms of facilities, this is what the hangar will have. There are 5 major aspects to it. When we are setting up this particular hangar facilities, we are coming more from a market perspective and from an application perspective. The first application is on tunnel inspection, indicated by the tunnel section here. The second is on setting up modular blowers to simulate weather. And the third is to support facade inspection by setting up a mock facade. There are 2 other parts on battery testing and acoustics testing. And I will touch upon the details of what each one of these would cater to here. So on the first segment, we have the weather testing facilities, which consists of blower systems, rain or water sprinklers, mist generators, etc. And this is mainly catering to applications of drones used in the logistics, agriculture, shore-to-shore delivery side. The tunnel section is more catered towards MRT tunnel inspections, sewage or water tunnel inspections, and basically any kind of enclosed area inspections where these drones would need to be first validated before deploying into the actual operational condition. The third area is on a facade. The sort of applications we are looking at is for maintenance of real estate, building surveys, solar panel cleaning, etc. So these are the sort of areas where we thought the geospatial week would, the attendees of the geospatial week would benefit as they are involved in such applications and might be using technologies to cater to these applications. So please feel free to reach out to me if you need to validate some of your current products and these sort of conditions. The final two areas are on acoustics and energy storage. This is more on the drone platform side. We bring our capabilities on vibration analysis as well as battery analysis here. That is one of the core strengths where EcoLabs is based. And we bring that expertise to help startups or SMEs improve their products or proposition. So we are inviting proposals from these companies, either startups, SMEs, or even corporates, to reach out to us to utilize these facilities. These are currently in the process of being set up. They're not yet set up. Once these proposals are in, we would have evaluation, and there would be a possibility of it getting funded as well as launched. So just to summarize, then we can take questions. There are two parts to the presentation that I put forth today. The first is on EcoLabs, where we are supporting SMEs and startups in the energy sector on 4 areas: product development, test bedding, investor connections for fundraising, and as well as market entry. On the Sunbird drone lab side, which is under EcoLabs, we are supporting developments in the unmanned aerial system sector. And the sort of applications we're looking at are tunnel inspection, facade inspection, weather testing. Please do send across your proposals to my email, aravind@ntu.edu.sg, and we would be happy to evaluate them and have a conversation with you. Apart from SMEs and startups, we are also open to working with corporates on different capacities. So do feel free to reach out to both me as well as Ryan to take forward any interest you may have. So that's to sum up the slides that I have. Probably we are open to take questions now and look forward to what you may have.
Thank you, Dr. Aravind. So if you have any questions, you can leave them in the Q&A box.
Okay, we have some questions now. Okay. Can the team share with me the slides, please? GeoWorks team, would you be sharing the slides with them?
Yep. If you are okay with sharing, then we will email them.
Okay. Okay. Sure. I've taken down your ID, Francis, so I could probably reach out to you directly as well. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Kengyok. Sorry. Yeah. So the progress right now in terms of the implementation is we are looking to procure certain systems for installation at the hangar site at Air Transport Training College, and so there have been certain ownership issues with the current hangar. So that has been sorted out, and we plan to roll out in the next few months as these equipment start coming in. Due to COVID, there have been a few delays, but now is when we would start rolling out, and that's where we are inviting these proposals for participation.
Thank you. Any more questions?
Oh, thank you so much for that, Kengyok. Yeah. Okay, sure. I think Ryan.
Right. So on the question on the partnership with Continental, so what we are doing with the Continental is that we will co-create and identify some of the interesting startup with promising technology and solutions towards Continental business unit. As most of you should know, Continental are in the automotive industry. They are a tier 1 automotive supplier. So specifically, they are looking into areas in telematics, in in-vehicle solutions, and so on. So we will work with them and their business unit to review the solutions and the technology that presented. Then if it's aligned with their business priorities, and we will define a POC project together. So there are several projects on discussion right now. Because of the project discussions nature, I cannot share with you on the specific projects, but it's in interesting technology revolving telematics and electrifications, anything vehicle related, right? So if you are a startup in the space of automotive, or even if geospatial technology that's applicable in the automotive space, feel free to drop me an email at Ryan, JIN, @ntu.edu.sg. I'm very happy to discuss with you on the possibility to participate in the ECUMA program. I will drop my email here together with Dr. Aravind email so that you can drop us an email and start the discussion.
Yep, thank you, Ryan. Perhaps you could type it inside the chat box, yeah,
yes,
so that the participants are able to see your email address. Thank you.
Right.
Yep. Okay, so I think if there is no more other questions, we have come to the end of the webinar today. So thank you so much for NTU EcoLabs for presenting. Thank you all for tuning in to the webinar.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, and hope to hear from you all. Thank you, Simin.
Thank you so much. Yes, yeah.
Simin, you're on mute.
Yep. Before you leave, please check out our